It happened on the 23rd of August last year. We went to bed. Around 11 p.m., I experienced what they call regurgitation, according to the doctors, after diagnosis, or reflux. For me, my saliva missed track, and I started coughing. I coughed for so long as I was lying down, and I realized I should sit up on the bed as I was doing that. That I did, and it lasted for several minutes. And don't forget, this was still on the period of lockdown, August last year. My worry was, who knows if I have contracted COVID-19. As this thing lasted, I had to go to my wife's room. Before I could call my wife, I had already called a medical doctor I know and explained myself to him. But he said, Ozondo, I wasn't hearing you properly. But whatever thing it is, FMC is your best bet. Hasten up and reach there. It's too late. Well, I heard him properly. I now went and tapped on my wife. I woke her up, and suddenly, I was muttering words this time. Nobody could hear me properly. She said, Daddy, what is it? What is it? I was saying FMC, FMC. And it was only me that knew I was mentioning FMC. My wife wasn't getting what I was saying. She started shouting the blood of Jesus Christ. This is somebody who went to bed hell and heart. Before we could get to FMC, I could not breathe by halfway. They asked me to explain what my problem is. I did. And they said, after diagnosis, they carried out certain tests immediately, believing it was COVID. When they discovered there was no preliminary result to show it was, they said we should go, that there is no reason to keep us here, that they can't admit us, that there's no reason, nothing to write on paper as reason. We stayed there for long. I persuaded my wife we should go, and we did. Right from that night, that thing happened. For about 4 weeks, it's as if 3 hours was set aside every night for constant coughing. I will never cough in the day. I will never cough in the evening, but it must be in the night. As soon as I go to bed, it can come up at any time. But one thing sure is that I must cough for 3 hours. By the time it's getting to 3 hours, I'll be watching the clock. It will now recede, and I will now go and take my bed. That thing that happened on the 23rd repeated itself. I can't remember the particular date, but after 4 weeks, I was drawing on my system. At a time, I started feeling dizzy. I told my wife I want to go and have a nap because I'm having sleepless nights, so naturally I should feel this in the day. I went to bed. Not up to 45 minutes, I started feeling so much uneasy on bed there. I prayed, I called God all I could, but it was gathering momentum. I now said I should tell my wife. I went to the parlor and told her, it's as if this thing is coming back. I don't know, I'm having a rebound. Before we could get to FMC again, I could still now talk. I explained to the doctors what happened about an hour ago. They remembered me, they recognized me, they said, Guy, what is your problem? Say, I can't breathe. Breathing is the problem. All these things we are talking, I can't breathe. You see me trying to gasp for air. It's not normal, and I'm not used to this. So after carrying out a series of tests, they directed me to the respiratory department. They said it was asthma. I stayed there, admitted me. Then it lasted, but I wasn't seeing much results. I went to some other hospitals. Some say it is COPD. I may not know how to explain that here. Some say it is a hyperactive airway disease. Every hospital we went, they came up with their name. But I knew what my problem was to breathe. As others were breathing freely, I was buying my own air. I didn't find it funny. Remember, all this period, every medication wasn't acceptable by my system. But after all prayers and all wants, then the medicine started working on my system. But the problem is, will I live on medication for the rest of my life? That has been another battle since May, until this particular woman I mentioned, her name now, came to our house. And I said, though that I know this place before now, but I will follow you based on these testimonies you have presented here. Now, as I speak with you, here inside of this ground, the prophet made mention about a particular person who has a respiratory issue. He has visited places, but to no avail.
Yeah.
He said it time and over. I stepped out of my seat, knelt down on the aisle, and waved God, said, God, I know today is my day. Though my first time of visiting here, but I know you are talking. The third time, he said, only if this person with respiratory issue I'm talking about could step out in the altar here. Here, as I was kneeling down, I said, God, whether the prophet has mentioned my name, has touched me or not, or has seen me face to face, I know I am not going home with this sickness. And incidentally, my faith worked for me. As I left here that day, till this moment, I have not experienced anything.
Any issue that have been following you, either through your health or your family, this ministry shall be the burial ground for it.